The framing is finally done. You want to check it out? Stick around, I'll show you. How's it going? My name's Brian. I'd like to welcome you to another video. If this is your first time here and you'd like to learn more about electric brewing, see how to build your very own home brewery in your basement, or all sorts of other home brewing related stuff, consider subscribing. And if you do, don't forget to click the bell so you won't miss a video when it comes out. The framing is done, and I want to show you guys everything that is the space now. But first I want to jump back to the past and show you how we got started. So if you can kind of see behind me over my shoulder there's a green board, and it is a 1/2-inch foam, I think it's a polystyrene board. And I'm going to use it like a vapor barrier. I won't put any insulation in between the studs and the walls, because the fact that it's really not that cold down here. As a matter of fact, it's pretty warm, as you guys have seen me sweating it out in some of these videos. It has like a lap joint to it, where one side is lapped and the other one is like that, so it'll kind of seal each other off. And then I've got some tape that I'm going to be putting on it as well, and then I'm going to glue it to the wall. One thing about this stuff is make sure if you're going to glue it to the wall that you get a glue that is rated for it. Now what I'm going to do is, the floor joists are here, here, and here. Well, I cut this so that it's like 90, I think it's 94.5 inches just below the subfloor. So I'm gonna actually cut slots so I can slide this up in there and then provide myself just a little bit more insulation there. There's no hose bibs or anything like that that's running out of the basement at all. There's one register here, but I think I can probably get around it okay. Let's go to it. All right, note to self and anyone else that's watching, don't even bother gluing the insulation to the wall. And here's, I'll show you what I mean. None of it's stuck. It's all loose. And I might as well not have even wasted my time gluing it. So, just gonna go ahead and the framing will hold it up. So that's actually what I'm working on now. One word of advice on the bottom plate on the floor, anything that contacts cement, wood, whatever, I mean cement, like dirt, whatever, needs to be pressure treated. So just make sure that you get a pressure treated board for your bottom plate. Top plate, no big deal. Studs, no big deal, but just make sure that anything that touches the ground might absorb moisture is treated so that it doesn't rot. So I'm gonna get this stuff measured up, and then we'll stand the wall up and do all that stuff. So stay tuned. Got the wall completely nailed up and everything. Now all that we have to do is basically just move it over into place and then stand it up, and then we'll check to see if it's, and I always get this mixed up, but I think square is where the wall's not racked, and then plumb would be straight up and down with like the other walls or whatever. Don't get technical on me. If you know, leave a comment down below. All right, let's do this. Man, now I told you I wasn't a carpenter, so understand this. One or a couple of the floor joists hang down farther than the couple that I measured. I actually wound up having to knock out these 2 studs to be able to get the wall up against there. Moral of the story is, measure twice, cut once. The next wall I build will not be this difficult because I am worn out. I must have hit that wall 50 times with a sledgehammer to try to get it to go up there. I have to jump in and interject here. I should have probably taken the wall and brought it back down, recut the studs, but no, I'm stubborn and I beat it into submission, which quite honestly, a couple of the doors didn't shut quite right and everything, so stuff has settled back down now because the treated wood, it has a lot of moisture in it and it dries out and then it shrinks a little bit. So, but anyways, back to the video. It wound up not being, and then of course it was stuck, so. Anyway, onward we go. So the biggest thing that I think I did wrong on the framing on the wall where I had to knock the studs out was I didn't measure the 2 boards before building the wall. So the base board and the top board. The base board is a treated lumber and they like pressure treat it, inject it with a chemical. And what happens is it causes the wood to swell. And I didn't take that into account whenever I was building the wall, and so it wound up being probably 1/4 of an inch at least taller than what I anticipated it being. So originally I was going to have this wall come about right here, just barely graze the sump pit there, but I started looking at everything that I have over there and it didn't look like it was going to fit into that space. So I wound up changing the plans midstream and actually expanding the storage area. So we'll step back here and take a look at it real quick. So there's the stairs. There's a pillow stuffed in the cat door so the cats don't come down. So I got the wall framed up there, got the 45, which I must say I'm pretty happy with how it came out because all of the joints and everything came out really nice. I've got to cut a 2x4 to go in here for the corner, but it's ready for the door. And the one positive thing about it is I'm able to put the flooring inside of there. It didn't come out the greatest in the world. It looks okay on camera, but it's got some issues. I mean, over here where I poured it in, it is a little bit low, so I might have to come back and do a little bit more, but then I got to put a couple more studs in there. One thing too, had to put I think they call it a jack stud in here, because when you put drywall in, you're going to need a place to fasten it on there, so I actually put another stud in there when I put this wall up. So I think that it's coming along pretty good, and I'm going to leave. I was going to take this out. Let me block that off. I was going to take that vent out, but I think I'm going to leave it. That way in the wintertime, or in the summertime, I mean, I can open it up and have this area actually be pretty cool because I'm going to have a door on it and everything. So, all right, so we've done one live brew day already, and what a freaking, it's like a chess game down here, moving everything around, trying to get stuff where I can brew with it, and then also doing the framing at the same time. So it's been a little bit of a challenge. I'm gonna flip around. You guys that have watched the live broadcast and the I've got an upcoming video coming out too. So here's the mess that is the brewing area right now. I'll show you all that stuff. Let me see if I can get this thing to come up a little bit more here. All right, so yeah, here's the mess that is the brewing area. You can see all the lights and cameras and everything. Then I got a bunch of trash I got to take out, and then the store room is pretty darn full of stuff. Right now, what I'm going to be working on is enclosing this whole area. All right, quick update. Got the wall there behind me, if you can see it. Got the wall put up, and that is in the stairwell there. So got that one done. Now time to build the wall that goes across the back of the bar, if you will. And I'm going to do something a little bit different there. I'm actually going to inset the refrigerator area just a little bit so that the fridge doesn't stick out so far into the bar. Try to leave myself as much room in the bar area as possible between the wall and the bar. I'm going to put a sink back there too, so I need a little bit of room. So we'll get that all figured out, and we'll be back. So I've done quite a bit of work without filming just because I wanted to keep going and get it done and all that stuff. But I'll show you what I've gotten done so far and just kind of give you a few little things that I have encountered along the way. Got the crawl space all framed in there. Got to do a little bit more framing and stuff here with this light switch. I got to move it inside there. One thing too, that I was watching a few shows before I started doing this project, and one of the guys said that it was just so much better to put your fuse panel behind a full-size door rather than trying to make some kind of makeshift door. And that really kind of resonated with me as far as what I've seen before. So it does take up about, I think, 12 inches or so from the basement, but I think it's definitely a good thing to do because of the fact that I'll have complete access to everything and it'll be all open and inside. My goal today is to get all the rest of this framed. Then it will be on to the electrical. So it's getting there. Been a little ways across, but it's definitely getting there, and I'm looking forward to getting the framing done so I can start with all the electrical and all the other stuff, the plumbing and everything. But there's a saying that is out there, and it's done is better than perfect. And I kind of got caught up in that perfect debacle for a little while, doing all this, the framing behind me. I want everything to be square, everything to be straight and all that stuff, and it's never going to be completely perfect. So done is better than perfect. Make it look decent so that, you know, your walls aren't doing this number, but don't try for perfection because you're never going to get it out of, you know, housing these days. I'm going to go ahead and start doing some more framing, and I will update you here shortly. So that brings us to now, and I want to grab the camera off the tripod and basically take you like as if we're entering the space, and I'll walk you around and show you everything and let you know a few things that I've got planned, and we'll just take a look at the space. So let's do that now. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna go down into the basement here. And coming down the stairs, we've got the storage area off to the left here. Off to the right, we've got the kind of a mechanicals area, as well as going to be a cat area, if you will. And then in here, I don't even want to talk about what's going on in here because there's just too much stuff stacked on top of stuff on top of stuff. So, all right. And then coming around here, this faux brick wall here, I'm going to wind up covering, let me back up here. I'm going to wind up covering this entire area with it. I just like the way it looks, and I think it'll be a great backdrop for future videos and whatnot. Then we've got this other wall over here that is adjacent to the brewery area, and that'll be another place. I'll probably put a TV or something up here. That's what I want to do over there. And then I'll kind of bring you guys in on the rest of the plans, you know, in another video. But then we've got the brewing space tucked over here in the corner, and there is the drain pipe for the sink. And then all the way along here, the brewing system will be here. The floor drain is there. And then coming over here, the bar is gonna, I've shown you guys this probably 100 times, the bar is gonna be here going that way. So this will be a pretty good amount of space here in between the bar and the wall. Probably put some arcade machines or something over here. The beam up here, I've been thinking, I think I wanna make it a sticker beam. And what I mean by that is, those of you that have stickers that are viewers or subscribers, I'll maybe have you guys send them and we'll stick them up on the wall. I've got some already from some of you guys, so maybe stick them up there, and then we'll do like a sticker of the week or something like that in the future. So maybe that'll be fun, see everybody's stickers that they have. Then this is just kind of a corner over here, and then we've got the space where the breaker box is, which, as I stated earlier in the video, I'm gonna be putting a door there, so it'll be like a closet. And then over here is the refrigerator area. So it's kind of tucked up underneath of all of the mechanical trunk lines and everything. So it'll stick in there. And then my plan is to have a countertop, just a small countertop here about the same depth as the fridge with a small bar sink in it there. And then of course that's our storage area there. It's jam-packed full. Put a couple doors on that, and then there'll be a door here for the mechanical area. Let me step back here real quick and kind of just give you guys a quick overview of the whole thing. So there's the bar area over into the brewing area. It's actually a pretty large space. It felt kind of confined when I had all the stuff in here, but now that I've got everything out and it's framed up, it seems really nice. So that is pretty much an overview of the framing. I did have another question. I wanted you guys to leave me a comment along with the beam there if it's not too much to ask. What do you think about the mechanicals? I've been thinking about covering those, but I don't know. I might just paint them. I'm going to do the ceiling in flat black. I just wanted some opinions on what you guys thought. I'm thinking about enclosing everything all the way over to here and just have like one square box in the center of the space. I don't know. So give me your opinion, and not saying I'll follow it, but tell me what you think anyway. So in the next installment of the basement brewery build, what in the world has somebody done there? They've got the power wire running through the AC. Now there's a really smart one right there. They've got a keyless plug running through a fresh air vent. I'm gonna have to redo all this stuff.